I think I want to get into the story of how the relationship between Partners of the Americas and the IDB started, to get a picture of how we arrived at where we are now. The Partners of Americas Guyana actually is one of the few local NGO civil society organization that was successful in accessing resources through the Multilateral Investment Fund of the IDB in their hydroponic shade house program. It was a little project that could, and they executed successfully, and one of the things and the strengths of this particular civil society organization, the fact that they're able to form linkages and partnerships with both international organizations and other local NGOs. For example, they've worked with ICA, they've worked with the Farmer to Farmer program out of the US, and all of these linkages or partnerships were able to add strength and value to what they were doing. And what the result was the fact that there was an explosion in the hydroponics program that they were doing. So even though they set out a very small target, the project in the end was able to reach far and wide across the coast of Guyana and generated so much interest. By the time the project came to an end, we had a vast number of individuals who were looking to adopt the technology. And as fate would have it, there was a call for proposal from the Japanese funded fund, the Japanese fund within the IDB, and they took advantage of this. And I must say their proposal was very strong. It was in line with the country strategy and the whole agriculture diversification that was the national policy of the government of Guyana.
There were two sponsors of that first phase, and those sponsors continue with phase two, which is now being done with the assistance of Japan through the IADB. The first one is Partners of the Americas, the Guyana branch. That's right here in Guyana. And Partners is the main executors of the project with the staff and so on. The second organization that is part of this and is a sponsor of it is CASRI, the Caribbean Self-Reliance International. It is an NGO based in Canada, and it has been working in Guyana with partners for a number of years. So we have, of course, day-to-day managers, the manager of the project, the finance manager, and so on. And we have an advisory board made up of people both from the producers themselves, the sponsors and executors of the project, and also from other agencies who are part of the, such as FAO, ICA, that are part of the management board. In addition to that, and which is perhaps one of the most important part of this project, is that we are working to build and strengthen a national network organization of the producers themselves. Because as they expand, we expect to have hundreds of producers working in hydroponics and natural organic farming.
The Sustainable Livelihood and Economic Growth Project has started to support the production of vegetables by way of both the hydroponic and natural production systems. The shade house at the Guyana School of Agriculture was constructed by Farmer to Farmer program in Guyana, and the design, technical support, and initial training were provided by staff of the Shade House Phase 2 project.
The buzz about it is everybody is energized and fire up for hydroponics technology. They're so eager that they want to come to the farm and see what exactly it is. They want hands-on, they want everything that is available. They would want to know, and they're eager for the knowledge and start their own hydroponics gardening.
My name is Jean Paul. I manage the garden at AGDA. Now AGDA simply means African Cultural Development Association. Our main produce here is tomato and pepper. We concentrate mostly on that because it's a better product in the market. Whole year round we get pepper and tomatoes. Thank you very much to the partners of America for the assistance they've given to us. Thanks again.
Hydroponic is a better life because now planting the hydroponic, I've seen my way because for a time I was poor to send my children to school, but now I've seen my way.
What is floating root? Floating root is simply planting in water, but we also use other material like styrofoam and a piece of sponge. And the bed has to be waterproof, so it could hold water, as you could see. It's very, very easy. The root is being at the bottom that receive the nutrients, and all that you need to do is oxygenate the water in the morning and in the afternoon to recycle the nutrients, and the plants keep growing. This is celery, and we already start harvesting, and for the next 9 months we are going to still harvest celery on the floating root.
Training in compost production is an integral part of the natural organic production system, and the Shade House Phase 2 project has already started to address this need. The Shade House Phase 2 project tapped into support from the Farmer to Farmer program and benefited from the inputs of Farmer to Farmer volunteer specialists in compost production and container gardening. Under the Shade House Phase 2 project, the St. Stanislaus College Farm and the Guyana School of Agriculture have refined their compost production systems. Backyard compost production is also gaining popularity.
I was doing composting before, but I was not doing it correctly. I was just doing what I thought was right. And then I was invited to a workshop at the St. Stanislaus Farm, that's with the Partners of Americas, and we were taught how to do compost properly. I usually use the kitchen waste, all my fruit skins, all the vegetable skins, and I learned about adding newspaper, strip the newspaper in small pieces, and even cardboard boxes, because these help to absorb the moisture that many of the fruit skins like pine would produce. But I have calendula that's growing in the compost, and it's really healthy looking, lovely and green, very rich because of the compost in which it's growing.
And I started planting my own vegetables. Right now I plant tomatoes, celery, sweet peppers, hot peppers, cabbage, lettuce. I plant belange. I try to plant everything so that my family and I could have a healthy diet and we are sure of what we are eating. And also some of the benefits is that you save some money because you don't have to buy every single thing in the market.
Partners is delighted, on the one hand, to have been accepted a grant by the Japanese government so that we can continue our work in the Shade House project. I am happy to be a part of this whole process, especially since last year in October. I was privileged to attend the session in El Salvador, not only to receive an award on behalf of the partnership from the Japanese fund, but also to do a presentation on our Shade House project to the gathering, which was well accepted. I know that this grant, we have started doing some work on it. And I know that as we continue working in it, yearly we will be in a position to show you how well we are performing in this beautiful country.
The project team is out in the field working with the beneficiaries and doing a great job.
So, as you have heard, The Shade House Phase 2 project is on its way, thanks to the IDB and the Japanese Trust Fund. Most of the activities have revolved around Component 1, which are the production activities, and the achievements to date are as follows. Number of persons who received initial exposure to the home-based shade house vegetable production technology, 155. Number of persons trained in home-based shade house vegetable production, 17. Number of home-based gardens started, 15. Number of new shade houses established, 7. Number of potential shade house producers, those who have indicated interest and are on a waiting list, more than 100.
Once more, I'd like to give the Japanese fund a huge thank you for the confidence they have placed in the Partners of the Americas Guyana chapter. And I can assure you that year after year, you will be